AMD is a millionaire maker stock, especially if you're a billionaire. Now that we've got that joke out of the way, let's talk a little bit about AMD and the things that the market might have missed during the earnings call. Because, yeah, the quarter was a good one. Of course, during the earnings call, everybody was waiting for that AI revenue guidance for 2025. And if you've listened to the earnings call, you know that they did everything possible to not answer that question. They did give us a couple of hints here and there. I mean, if someone can tell me exactly what strong double digits mean, let me know down in the comment section below. Because strong double digits can be a lot of things. Can be 20, 30, 60, 70%, right? We don't know. But all in all, and by the way, right now I'm also an AMD shareholder, so I've joined the bag holding club. I hope you are going to welcome me with open arms. But right now, it's true. Look, if you look at the 5 years, this thing is still up triple digits. But if you look at the 3 years, this thing is down. So if you bought 3 years ago and you did not buy it under $100 during that period, you are down, you're underperforming quite a lot. If you bought the stock 6 months ago, you're down even more. So yeah, it's true. It's true. Advanced Money Destroyer, I mean, is a good name for this one, but I do think that sentiment will change. It will probably take more time than previously expected because, well, you do have a couple of product launches, right? We had the MI300, then MI325, and then, of course, the good news is that the MI350 is not going to be for the second half of the year, but for midpoint of 2025. Now, when you go from one product to the other, especially as you move that quickly, usually you're going to take a hit with regards to margins because you're not fully ramping up, because you do want to go to the next product and you know that the next product is going to be the better one. So 350 is going to be, in my opinion, the start of the game-changing segment of this roadmap. And then, of course, in 2026, we're going to have the MI400. And that's when I would expect things to change quite drastically for AMD. It's nice to hear the, data center GPU market, all of that will be tens of billions of dollars worth for us in the years to come. That's great, but that's also a given, right? When you start from a very low point, you grow that to just over $5 billion in 2024. Of course, in the future, I mean, that's why you're paying the price you're paying for AMD right now, because you do expect that part of the business to be generating tens of billions of dollars in the future. So I wasn't that excited to hear about that. Many analysts are still expecting that, well, the AI revenue for 2025 is going to be closer to $10 billion. So yes, a doubling, which, to be honest, shouldn't really be that difficult. But as I've said in the previous video, don't forget that there is a whole other side of the business, the client side, the server business that is doing extremely well. Then, of course, you've got the two businesses that is dragging things down a little bit, the gaming and the embedded part. I do think that in the second half of 2025, those two segments will start to actually do a bit better. Of course, the year-over-year comparisons will become much easier as well. But don't forget, the embedded part of the business is a money-making machine, right? Margins on that are extremely high. So it's only a matter of time until we finally see the other struggling businesses inside of AMD to start contributing to the overall profitability profile of the company and the revenue as well. In the meantime, client segment is doing better than Intel, for example. Servers doing actually better than data center. And then in the second half, we're going to see, well, data center, in my opinion, perform much better than in the first half. It's true that in the meantime, the stock can continue to struggle. But if you believe in the long-term success of this company, I think accumulating is the right thing to do. Now, of course, you might want to wait until you actually see the business perform better and better. Obviously, that's your choice. So let's discuss a couple of things. In this video, I also want to go over multiple price target updates. Most of them are downgrades, so stay tuned for that. If you enjoy this type of videos, hit all the buttons. Would really appreciate that. Me personally, as I said, I have a very small position in AMD right now. Believe it or not, my Intel bags are heavier than AMD, but then again, AMD I just entered in the last 2 days or so makes sense. So hit all the buttons, we really appreciate that. If you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment with the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Thank you very much. And yes, I do still have my Micron position. Micron is a bit smaller than Intel, much bigger than AMD. So these are basically all of the changes with regards to the price target from Analyst. And like the title says, or the thumbnail, I don't know what that's going to be. If it's going to be a clickbaity one, I'll probably write, this is obviously clickbait. So we've got all of these changes here. The median price target is now at $140, which is $35 lower than previously. The highest price target still sits at $225, which is also $25 lower than the previous one. The lowest one sits at $110, which is basically at the price we're at right now. So we've got 19 analysts that cut their price target, 2 downgrades, Citi and DZ Bank, and then 3 analysts maintained their rating, which means that on average, I think the average analyst price target sits just above 35% higher than the price we're at today, which, to be honest, could still be viewed as a positive thing. Now again, don't forget that analysts usually follow sentiment. Remember, SMCI had an average analyst price target that was quite close to $1,000. We are quite far away from that. Of course, you have to adjust for the split, but you get the point. Anyways, if you've missed last quarter, there were a couple of issues, right? First of all, an issue with data center revenue. That was a miss of 6%. You would have expected that segment to still perform quite well. But what did extremely well is the client side of things that beat by 18.6%. Gaming actually beat by 14.9% as well, but that's still down 58% year over year. Gross margins of 54%, that beat by just 11 basis points. Free cash flow did miss 18.9%, but still grew 350.8% year over year. It makes sense. Last year, profitability profile of the company was barely existent. Then for the Q1 guidance. So revenue, $7.1 billion, which is down quarter over quarter. Sequentially, we're going to see things down. That's what they say. The server side of the business still should be doing okay. All in all, sequentially, they should be down around 9%. Q1 is usually a seasonally weak quarter. We've seen that time and time again, not just for AMD, for Intel as well. So it's not really a surprise. Don't expect them to come out with a huge beat, because that's just not going to happen. Q1, usually a seasonally weak quarter. All in all, the trend is quite clear. The majority of the revenue coming from data center. Client is definitely helping the cause as well. Then you've got the two laggards here, gaming and embedded. I do think that we're going to see a little acceleration or reacceleration in growth in the second half of the year, which of course should be helping the overall revenue for the business. With regards to operating income, data center, extremely lucrative business for them. Client is starting to do much better as well. And embedded, I mean, once embedded starts to grow again, that will be adding a lot to the bottom line. Now, here is one thing that was mentioned during the earnings call with regards to AMD's competitiveness, especially when it comes to networking. I mean, the full-scale solution here, system-level solution, I should say. So Lisa Su said the following: networking is an extremely important part of the AI solution, and it's an area that we have been investing and spending quite a bit of effort with our customers and our partners jointly. The way to think about it is that our networking proof points are actually increasing as we're going from MI 300, 325, 350, and then MI 400. So in each of those points, we're increasing with a number of proof points. I think people want to see more clusters of ours. Certainly on inference, we've shown great performance and total cost of ownership. And now we also have a number of training systems that we are putting on board. And the important part there is the networking. We have worked very closely with our partners on Ethernet. We believe that this is the right technology for the future. In addition to third-party networking solutions, we're also working with our Pensando team developing our own in-house AI NIC's networking interface card that Forrest mentioned in the Q4 Advancing AI event. And as we look forward to working with our customers, we're actually standing up full rack solution at both the 350 as well as the MI 400 level. So again, that's when things get extremely interesting for AMD. You just need to have some patience because the results will only happen late this year, I mean second half of the year, but the results will be shown later this year as we exit 2025, and then in 2026 with MI400, that's when things become quite exciting. In the earnings call, they also said the following: they are going to continue to invest in software quite heavily throughout the year, which is great. We've seen some comments, and I've covered that, I think, 2 AMD videos ago. MI325 volume production ramp is progressing well. MI350 is looking strong. There's a huge increase in AI compute performance. Of course, MI400 will launch in 2026. There is a lot of interest for training and inference. The client segment will grow ahead of the market. With regards to the data center side of things, of course, that tens of billions of dollars comment has not gone unnoticed, but then again, that was to be expected. Strong double-digit growth. Again, I would love to know what that means. Second half of the year should be stronger than the first half. Server doing better than data center. And then with regards to GPU exit rate, 2025 will be much stronger than 2024. So with all that said, we're back to, well, $107 per share right now, which is just at that uptrend line. Again, I don't really believe in these types of things. It's much better to actually look at the business, look at the industry commentary around the industry, the hyperscalers and all of that. You'll get much more information than just this. By the way, on the weekly, we're still not oversold. And the same goes for the daily one. So all in all, that's about it. I mean, jokes aside, I'm sure we're going to see quite a lot of funny comments in the comment section below. Advanced money destroyer, always money down, or a massive deal. But all in all, what you're buying here is still a very, very strong company in a growing market. They are expected to take market share or at least grow with the market for years and years to come. Leadership is incredible. Lisa Su is an incredible CEO. And to be honest, I would not be willing to bet against Lisa Su. There would not be any AMD today were it not for Lisa Su becoming CEO 10 years ago. I think a lot of people do forget that. And to be honest, I mean, if you just look at the stock price, you would think that she's been doing a very, very bad job, but she does not control the stock price. I will also say that AMD should have never been at $200 because it was not worth it. The company should not have been worth $200 per share. Right now, it does make a little bit more sense, which is probably why I also opened a small position in that. There is a disconnect. Sentiment is extremely bad. And yeah, things will take time. This is what I've been saying from the start. Things will take time. But eventually 3-5 years from now, you're going to look at this and say, oh, actually, it did make a lot of sense. So all in all, that's about it. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Have you been buying, selling? Let me know as well. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.